I remember a time when my family owned our first ever computer, a Windows 95. It had no internet, but many CDs came with it, and we borrowed other people's CDs, bought more CDs, and these interactive discs became a large part of my childhood. There were children's educational games like Sammy's Science House, Trudy's Time and Place House, and My First Encyclopedia, each of which gave me hours of fun. I would have to credit My First Encyclopedia for giving me many facts that have subconsciously sunk into my own awareness. Then there was Microsoft Oceans and Microsoft Dinosaurs, two similar games that were like interactive libraries, the latter of which satisfied my obsession with prehistoric creatures that I developed around age 8 or 9 or so. There was also CivNet, a world domination game that I appreciated for its freedom of customization. By that I mean that I loved the fact that you could name your leader, country, and the cities you founded. I also remember being freaked out as a kid by certain music sequences that were in the game. They came off kind of eerie. There were also comic book games like the arcade game Comic Zone and a comic creating game. I can't really find any footage of that one, both of which fueled my imagination and inspired me to make my own comics as a kid. Games like Windows 3D Movie Maker and Batman and Robin Cartoon Maker were the seeds of my obsession with filmmaking and animation. They gave me hours of fun and sparked waves of creativity in my mind. I do also remember owning Casper Brainy Book, but I don't have any interesting or remarkable memories from it, sorry. There was also a language learning game with Asterix and Obelix. It was pretty cool. I didn't really learn anything. I'm not very good at learning languages, unfortunately. But it contained a storybook that ended on a cliffhanger, which was frustrating because it meant that I needed a second disc to know what was going to happen next. I think that one of the weirdest CDs that we had was a piece of software called Packard Bell Navigator. It was an odd program where you could explore a dingy steampunk house and interact with abstract machinery. We also had Gizmos and Gadgets, a game where you had to collect car parts to improve the speed in future races. You couldn't control the races though, and you had to solve scientific puzzles. It was a very inventive and creative game, and encouraged you as a child to find science engaging. I'll never forget Adibou, a cute but unusual French children's game with an array of creative features like growing plants and cooking food. A game called Warwind would have to be my favourite Windows 95 memory. You could choose between four races of creatures, and the aim of the game was to either bring peace or war to this fantasy world you lived in, depending on the race you chose. It was an immensely imaginative game, with unique music, clever character designs, and challenges that relied on players' wit, patience, and strategic abilities. It's a shame that I can't play it anymore because it was one of the only computer games that I was actually decent at playing. So, those were my memories of the computer games from my childhood. What do you remember? Feel free to tell me.